Hare Krishna, good morning. This morning we will discuss the first canto, chapter 11, text 18. The chapter is entitled Lord Krishna's Entrance into Dvaraka. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottanam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jam Udiyayat. Nastavesya Bhatrasu Nityam Bharavata Sevya Bharavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. I first recite the verse in Sanskrit. Varanandam Puraskritya Brahmanai sa sumangalai Sankatuya ninadena Brahma Goshena Satrita Patyuh Shakmo Raterista Pranayagata Satvasa. The translation. I read first the word-for-word translation. Varana Indram, elephants on the auspicious mission. Puraskritya, putting in front. Brahmanai, by the Brahmins. Sumangalai, with all auspicious signs. Sanka, conch shell. Toya, bugle. Ninadena, by the sound of. Brahmagoshena, by chanting the hymns of the Vedas. Cha and Adritaha, glorified. Prati, towards. Ujjahmu, proceeded hurriedly. Ratai, on the chariot. Ristaha, in cheerfulness. Pranayagata, saturated with affection. Satvasa, all respectful. Now, translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. They hastened toward the Lord on chariots with Brahmins bearing flowers and other auspicious items. Before them were elephants, emblems of good fortune. Conch shells and bugles were sounded, and with Vedic hymns were chanted. Thus they offered their respects, which were saturated with affection. Report. The Vedic way of receiving a great personality creates an atmosphere of respect, which is saturated with affection and veneration for the person received. The auspicious atmosphere of such a reception depends on the paraphernalia described above, including conch shells, flowers, incense, decorated elephants, and the qualified Brahmins reciting verses from the Vedic literature. Such a program of reception is full of sincerity of the part of the receiver and the received. I read the translation once again. They hastened towards the Lord on chariots with Brahmins bearing flowers and other auspicious items. Before them were elephants, emblems of good fortune, conch shells and bugles were sounded, and Vedic hymns were chanted. Thus they offered their respects, which were saturated with affection. Om Mahyanatibandasya Chinam Jalashlaka Saksvamiritam Yena Tasmai Sigave Namah. Chitchetayam Anupstam Stapitam Yena Bhutaleshvam Rupkadamyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Shiru Shiyuda Padkamanam Shirum Vaishnavamsha Shirupam Jagajatam Saganaragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savdutam Parjana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shivishakam Vitam Sha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jatpate Gopesha Gopkakanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kansana Gauri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhana Siddha Devi Panamama Hari Pri Vancha Kalptrabhisha Kripa Sindhuvisha Patnam Pavadnabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesa Sunyavadi Paskachai Desatarani. Srila Prabhupada Ki. So the residents of Dwarka, they offered their respects saturated with affection. Prabhupada in the purport translates it that, yes, affection, but the affection is full of sincerity on the part of both the receiver and the received. That's the conclusion of the purport. So sincerity is a key word here. They created an auspicious atmosphere. Concerts, flowers, incense, decorated elephants, qualified Brahmins, but the main point is the sincerity in giving the affection. In the Bhagavad Gita 4.34, dat is de first Tatvina Pranapadna Pariprishna Sevya Upadikshanta Teganam Ganas Tatvadakshina. In that verse, Prabhupada speaks about submission, inquiry, and service. So Prabhupada explains the relation between submission and inquiry and service. And in the purport, he makes a point that if one inquire, to properly inquire, one must have that mood of submission. That if we inquire from someone whom we do not have faith in, it's either deceitful or wasting our time. So in the material world, it is not common that one has a genuine mood of submission. We may be submissive under certain circumstances, but that submission is not necessarily heartfelt. That when Bhavananda Prabhu, he was helping Srila Prabhupada walking up a hill. And finally, when they got up the hill, Srila Prabhupada, who was holding Bhavananda's hand, he threw his hand away and said, "Now I'm here, I don't need you anymore, go away." And Bhavananda, he was shocked. And then Prabhupada said, that is the impersonalist, that they take shelter of Krishna or the Guru and helps them up the hill of spiritual advancement. But finally, when they are realizing that they are Krishna or God or Brahman, then they throw the deity in the ocean, or they reject the Guru and sit on his seat. So The day they become Guruji, they get rid of Guruji. This kind of submission is not completely genuine. But this kind of submission is common in the material world. Submissive to one's boss, huh? And so on. But submission must be based on sincerity. So practically, anyone thinks they are sincere. Basically, in our heart, we think all we are sincere. Even the hard-hearted criminal thinks himself as a sincere person. That Prahlad Maharaj told many times, because I traveled many years with him as brahmachari, and he told, of course, he's from New York, he's from the United States, and of course, he was acquainted with Chicago, that, of course, Al Capone, but that was the great famous criminal. But he was always speaking about two-gun pie. He was known as two-gun pie because he was a gangster in Chicago during the 1920s. And his hallmark was that he would kill with two guns, two-gun pie. He would always shoot twice. That so one day he got into well, Prahlad said he was at Lover's Lane in a car with a woman, and at night it was near to a park there. And at night a police officer came and with his lamp was shining into the car, and Tugam P opened the window and he shot the police officer. So he fell down, but he was thinking he felt bad because according to his reputation, he must shoot twice also with his other hand. So although the police officer was already finished, with his other hand he was shooting again. Of course, then many colleagues of the police officer were alarmed, and they followed him. And Tupigan was hiding. Tupigan. He was hiding in a house somewhere, and there was a shootout with maybe 100 police officers. So he was going to his end. And he wrote a letter to his mother, my dear mother, that I'm a good person, but nobody understands me. That so please take care of the cat. And that anyway, that he was thinking himself still a good person. That of course it's difficult to be sincere in that situation. It's like Duryodhan. Salya came to Hastinapur, but before he arrived, Duryodhan arranged for a nice accommodation, nice meals, and nice girls for Salya and all his warriors. And Salya was thinking oh, this arrangement must have been made by Yudhishthir. But then he proclaimed at a certain moment, I will become the servant of the one who has made these arrangements. At that moment, immediately Duryodhana came up and said, I made it. And I want you to fight at my side. So, yeah. Later, he tried to do the same thing with Krishna. When Krishna came from Dwarka to Hastinapur. But Krishna did not accept anything, even no water. Only water to wash his feet. That was all. So that by that Duryodhana appeased Salya by providing nice guest facility and tricked him. It was not sincere. It had a purpose. He had a purpose in mind. And that's like sometimes, yeah, it's like a guru, and it's going to visit his temple, and when he arrives at the airport, his disciples come to get him with a luxury car. And the guru was asking where is this coming from? And the disciple said, Guruji, it's all by your mercy. And then they arrived. They arrived at the temple, and the temple was completely decorated and renewed, and so many guest facilities. Everything improved. And they prepared big offerings, flowers, so many things. And the guru asked, where does all this come from? How did you get it? And they replied, Guruji, it's all by your mercy. But then Guruji checked his bank account and he saw it was on zero. They used all his funds. Anyway, that's sincerity. Not, many preachers, are they sincere? This is from a conversation between a young lady, her name was Sandy Nixon, and Prabhupada. And Sandy Nixon said, how do we find the guru within? And Prabhupada replied, who says that? Find the guru within? And Sandy Nixon replied, well, it's Jayatirtha Kripal Singh. This is one person who says that. And also Gurudas Krishnamurti says it also. So Prabhupada then asked, why is he come to teach? And the devotees were laughing. He said, these things are spoken by rascals. He comes to teach and say, find the Guru within. Then why do you come to teach? That he talks all nonsense and they hear. That's all. Because Gurudas wrote a book with the title, No Books Are Needed. Again, the devotees were laughing. So why is he writing a book if no books are needed? No, it's in Bhagavad Gita. The beginning of knowledge is humility. Bhagavad Gita 13, verses 11 to 12. So if someone, Prabhupada said, if someone accepts Krishna as God and he comes to the program, Srila Prabhupada says, it's an indication of their sincerity of purpose. So sincerity of purpose. The essence of Vrindavan, their purpose was giving all their affection to Krishna, very sincerely. We saw that same issue with the wives of the Brahmins and ritualistic Brahmins. The ritualistic Brahmins were doing their fire sacrifices for Vishnu, but then when the cowherd boys came to beg for food for Vishnu, for Krishna, they refused. Because they wanted to go to heaven. They had their sincerity was there and not in serving Krishna. But the sincerity of the wives of the Brahmins was different. They wanted to serve Krishna. And when they heard that Krishna and Balaram when they heard that Krishna and Balaram wanted food, immediately they started cooking. That in the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada speaks also about sincerity in the 9th chapter, verse 1. That there it is said, the Lord understands the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity who is engaged in Krishna consciousness, and gives him intelligence to understand the signs of Krishna in the association of devotees. So important is this. If we are sincere in our purpose, Krishna will give us intelligence to understand Krishna consciousness when we discuss it with devotees. That because yes, we see also about a devotee who is trying, but he does not get the desired result in his devotional service. But he's sincere. What happens with him? That's also discussed in Bhagavad Gita 9:30. And that is famous verse, the Apichat Duracharo verse. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, is to be considered saintly, because he's probably situated in his determination. So if we are sincere, we will be determined. And that so in the purpose, Srila Prabhupada writes, Krishna knows that perfection in his activities, the devotee knows that perfection in his activities depends on his progressive realization of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes, however, it may be seen that the person in Krishna consciousness commits acts which may be taken as most abominable socially or politically, but such a temporary fall down does not disqualify him. But it says further, the material contamination is so strong that even a yogi fully engaged in the service of the Lord sometimes becomes ensnared. But Krishna consciousness is so strong that such an occasional fall down is at once rectified. But that depends on our sincerity. That if we really want to please Krishna, but accidentally these things happen, it's at once rectified. That we see also, of course, in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the fate of the unsuccessful yogi. That so you have the one with a short practice. He has not become completely sincere in his purpose. He has still material aspirations. And the one who has long practice is sincere, and then even if unsuccessful, he takes birth into a family of great transcendentalists. and can progress further. That I think there is also further, yeah. Yeah, this is so somewhat what I could on sincerity. Sincerity makes us perfect if we are sincere in our purpose to serve Krishna. That means that we serve Krishna without ulterior motive, just to please him. And that's the highest sincerity. And then Krishna reciprocates. Yeyatama prabhachanti tam stadev bhajamyam. That he reciprocates with our surrender. And that this is an important item of surrender, is to be sincere in our attempts to surrender. And then Krishna reciprocates. If we are sincere, we will get taste in devotional service. If we are not sincere, then it will remain very wacky. Therefore, yeah, but whatever happens, we should use body, mind, and words always in the service of Krishna. Yasya dasye karmana manasakari Nikalas abhavastasu jivan mukta sauchate. If one uses body, mind, and words, and all his convictions always in the service of the Lord, one is implicitly liberated. So it means very soon one will become liberated. So that's the importance of sincerity. If we are not sincere, we cannot give our love to Krishna. That Krishna will not, the love will not, is not offered with the heart. So factually it's no love. Love means sincerity. That if you love someone, you are the well-wisher of that person. That then you want them, you wish them well without any material consideration. And that's the way to attain pure love for Krishna. And that is what practically every living entity is searching for. That they want to give love and receive love. But we don't get that in the material world, because we are maybe sincere in material purpose, but we have to become sincere in spiritual purpose, to give everything to Krishna, to be willing to sacrifice oneself for Krishna. And then Krishna reciprocates fully. And that if you give everything without withholding everything, Krishna reciprocates. And we feel ecstasy. So if we don't feel ecstasy during chanting, it's some lack of sincerity. That sincerity in purpose. That a few days ago, I was in Antwerp, gave a Sunday feast lecture, and someone asked the question, yes, that but we are so busy with all our material things, how can we progress in Krishna consciousness? That my answer to that was, what is your priority? Your material life or serving Krishna? If material life is your priority, it will not happen, spiritual advancement. You have to put Krishna as the priority. And then it will happen. Then you will learn how to connect all your activities with Krishna. So that is what I could say on this verse. Any questions or comments? Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for the nice class.
Okay. If there are no questions, then I'm looking forward to see you this evening for the Nectar of Instruction class. For me, it will be morning, 3 a.m., because it's here now nearly 20 past 1 in the afternoon. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada.